Next is shear force. What do we mean by shear force? Whenever any beam, suppose a beam AB, what type of beam it is? This is a fixed support, and at point B it is a free end. So whenever one end is fixed, another is free, this beam is said to be the cantilever beam. Let us suppose any force, suppose W, and this is a load acting at point B. And what type of load is this? This is a point load or concentrated load. And what type of support at point A? This is a fixed support. So whenever a beam is being loaded, the internal stresses will develop in the beam. Stress is force per unit area. And the vertical load acting on a beam, it will produce the two effect. Either the beam will fail due to the shear, or it may bend. By shear we mean that, let us suppose we take any section XX of a beam. Due to this load W, the beam will shear into two parts at the section XX. So this type of failure is said to be the shear failure. So by shear force we mean the force which tend to shear the one portion of a beam with respect to the another portion. So that is said to be the shear force. Next is the definition of bending moment. By bending moment we mean the perpendicular force act on a beam. The tendency of the perpendicular force is also to bend this beam like this. This force is acting at point W. The tendency of this force is to bend this beam. And how much bending take place at any point is said to be the bending moment. Like we know that whenever a force act at a distance of L, the bending moment is equal to force, perpendicular force multiplied by the length. So this is the bending moment. A perpendicular force act on a beam with the tendency to bend it, and the resultant moment at point A is said to be the bending moment, that is W into L.